So I finished Bloom, and this is a graphic novel. I really enjoyed the illustration style of this book. Everything is in blue, and it's just very eye-catching. Like, I enjoyed a lot of the illustrations. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I am giving this book a 3 stars. I did expect much more from it. A lot of Goodreads reviews are like 4 or 5 stars, and everybody's so in love with this. I didn't connect with any of the characters. I felt like this wasn't a romance, and I think that's what I thought I was going to get into. Even though there's like romantic elements in here, but I don't feel the chemistry between the main characters. So this is about Ari, who his family owns a bakery, but they're not getting a lot of customers. So sooner or later, it feels like it's going to shut down. But he just graduated high school. He wants to move in with his bandmates to like a different city and start playing more shows. But his family's like, no, we need you here at the bakery. So his goal is to find a replacement for him so he could leave and they have somebody to help him or help his family. And that person is Hector. And Hector is so passionate about baking, he loves it with his life. And those are supposed to be the romantic love interest. I feel like the only character in this story I like is Hector. I feel like the relationship to me between Ari and Hector is just a friendship at most. Ari is someone who does get a little bit jealous and a little bit needy. I didn't feel any romantic connections with each other, even though there's like kissing scenes and all this other stuff. And I didn't like Ari's friends, or like there's like one main guy, I forgot his name, but I didn't like him at all. But I gave this a 3 stars. So it's later at night, and I didn't really talk to you about the book I was reading. I started Every Word You Never Said, and I am on page 206, and unfortunately, I am deciding to DNF this book. I probably should have DNF'd it earlier, but I'm doing it now. But basically, it's told in two perspectives. We have Jacob, who is in high school. He just recently told everybody that he's gay, and his family and father are very conservative. His father is on politics and he's not with it. He doesn't like the fact that his son is gay, and he's claiming that it's a phase. And then we have the second perspective, who is Skylar, who is nonverbal, and he just got adopted to a new family, and now he's at a new school. And he is someone who likes to wear skirts and has been bullied a lot because of who he is, so he's used to not having friends. They become a love interest in this story. I feel like there's a lot of things in here that are good. I like the diversity. I like the parents, Skylar's parents, because one of the conflicts in the story is the fact that Skylar likes to wear skirts and dresses, and he goes to school one day in a skirt and he gets bullied, and then even some of the teachers are like not on Skylar's side. They're like, it's against dress code, it's a distraction. And then Jacob's dad is trying to boycott males wearing skirts. And that's where we're at. I'm not enjoying it, which kind of sucks. This is for high schoolers, I think. But it reads very middle grade, but there's a lot of content in here that isn't for middle grade. And there's a lot of F slurs in here that I don't care for. I think the reason why I'm really stopping this book is because Jacob's dad is so rude, and I don't like him. Yeah, I don't want to read a topic where it's like political views on like what people should or shouldn't wear, or like who they should and shouldn't love. So I don't want to do that. But I do think Skylar and Jacob are cute together. But I am DNFing it. I'm going to be reading... Where is it at? It's behind me. I'm going to start reading Cute. I know this is a soccer romance, and that's really all I know. This is the little card that comes with it. So I'll read this and then I'll give you an update around like the 100-page mark. I'm currently on chapter 21 of Clique Cute, so I'm halfway through and I'm enjoying it a lot. Again, this is a lesbian romance, and you know what? I'm enjoying it. I've never read a lesbian romance that's around sports, and some of the scenes in here, spicy. But I haven't even talked to you about the book. So we follow around two perspectives. We follow around, this one is Phoebe, and then this is Grace. Grace is someone who has been on the national soccer team for at least 10 years. She's 26. Phoebe is the new rookie, and she's 22, and it first starts off with them at like camp, and they're getting ready to join different national soccer teams. And Phoebe is a jokester. She is someone who is outgoing, outspoken, very bubbly personality, where Grace is, she is the captain, but she is someone who is introverted. People will probably say she's standoffish. She doesn't really like talking. She doesn't hang out with people. She's very much to herself, a very private person. Phoebe has always thought of Grace as an idol, but also thinks she's attractive. And Phoebe is someone who makes bets because she's very competitive. So she makes a bet against Grace because Grace is also competitive, but is like, no one's gonna beat me at this drill. It's called like the beep test, and I think it's like to improve your stamina, but also like it's running back and forth. If you think about basketball, it's like suicides basically. And they make a bet where if Grace wins, Phoebe can't talk for the rest of the day. But then one of the teammates places Phoebe's bet and was like, well, if Phoebe wins, you have to kiss her. And Grace is someone who doesn't like to back down, so she was like, fine. Phoebe does end up winning, and she decides, well, Phoebe ends up getting sick after the drill because it was a lot on their bodies. And she was like, oh, you don't have to kiss me. And she also doesn't want somebody to kiss her if it's forced. She's like, if you're going to kiss me, it's because you want to kiss me. And Grace is somebody who's like, I'm not about to be in any debts. So she ends up seeking her out later that night. And let me tell you, the tension between these two characters is great. But now we're on the national. It's like a few weeks later, months later. I don't really know the time periods. But they're on the same team. Grace is her captain. And they have now started like this benefits relationship. I don't want to say friends with benefits because Grace is someone who doesn't really know how to be a friend, and she says it too. But they have like this benefits relationship going on. She tells Phoebe, oh, I don't want to be in any like romantic relationship. Also, I don't want anyone to know because, like I said, Grace is a private person, and she's been on the team for at least 10 years, I think. So she has a lot of fans and admirers, but also like haters. And she wants to keep some things private about herself, and that includes like her relationships. And they're just so good together. They balance each other out. It's very Grumpy Sunshine-esque. One of the conflicts that is arising right now is the fact that Grace, she is keeping a secret from her team, her coach, and the medical staff that her hip is hurting, so she keeps playing, but she's like in pain. And Phoebe finds out and then accidentally tells the coach one night. And right now, Grace is basically has to sit out for like a month. So I'm curious to know what's gonna happen next. And I'm gonna give you an update when I'm finished. So again, I'm enjoying this book. I'll see you soon. Okay, so I finished Clique Cute. I'm gonna give it a 3 stars. I enjoyed the book. I do think there was like some things that I feel like I would have changed. There was one conflict in here that ended up turning into a steamy scene, and I feel like y'all should have had a whole conversation instead of just going straight into it. You know what I'm saying? Especially regarding the contents of the miscommunication. So there is a lot of miscommunication in here because they both like each other. So they just assume that the other person only likes them as a friend when they both like each other equally. They do say that they love each other, which I don't feel like I felt that connection. I felt like they were still in the beginnings of a relationship, so there wasn't. How would I say it? Like, I didn't feel like they were at a stage yet where they should be saying "I love you." Um, and then the ending was kind of lackluster, but all in all, I think this is a good book. It's a 3 stars. The next book I'm going to read is This Dark Descent. This is a horse book. Basically, what I think I know, I haven't read it, obviously. What I think I know is there's this girl, her family owns a ranch, but they're in debt. And in order to get her family out of debt, she joins this race, like a horse race, to win prize money to clear out her family's debt. And along her journey, there's 2 other people that are going to show up. There's this girl and this guy. I think there's magic involved? Question mark. Also, like the tags on Goodreads says like it's LGBTQ, but I don't know if this is lesbian or poly, and I didn't read reviews, so I'm going in this super blind, but I am curious to know what's going to happen in the book. But I'll start reading this and I'll give you an update around, we'll do, I could give you an update around part 2 because that's like 100 pages in. So I'll do that. Talk to you soon. Halfway through part 2 of This Darkest Descent, and I'm enjoying this book a lot. So it's told in 2 perspectives. The first perspective is Makira, who's 17 years old. She is the daughter of somebody who owns a horse ranch, and they do like racing and stuff. And she does underground racing, which is illegal, but that's how she gets money so she could help pay off her father's debt and to put food on the table for her younger sisters. When she gets home, she sees that this man who is like part of the royal family or something, he says that one of their neighbors came to them and said their father was using magic unregistered. And I don't think this is true, but you can't really talk back to someone higher than you, right? So he's like, I'm going to take your father in and he's going to get executed for it. And she does everything in her power to stop that. So the man Razik makes a deal with her. If she competes and wins this horse race that is very hard to get into, it's called Lanier, I think. Um, Happens once a year. Only 100 people can get in, but it costs money to get in. And then also there could be like a lot of sabotage and like death that could happen during this race. So he says, if you beat the race without an enchanted horse, then I will clear your father's debt, and I won't have him hanged or work, basically be a slave for their house. So she agrees to save her father, but her father still ends up with them for the time being. The other perspective is of this woman named Ariella. She is, I believe, 18. I think she ran away from home because she keeps mentioning like that she's a monster, and I feel like she has like this dark power within her. But she creates golems out of clay, and they come to life with the spell she uses. She's also unregistered, unlicensed, so she could get in trouble for it. But one day, thieves break into her place and try to look for all of her money. But this man, who's also a part of the royal, or one side of the royal family, named Damien, comes in and saves her, and basically makes a deal like, if you help me out, I'll help you out. And he needs a horse that is enchanted but can go in a race undetected. And then he meets with Makira, and he becomes her sponsor because nobody else is trying to be her sponsor, because Razik is sabotaging everything because he wants basically he wants the ranch and everything in it, because there's stuff that's enchanted that their family has been trying to get for years. But part 2 starts off with the first race, and it's so good. It is so good because like people could die in this race, and like she gets shot at and she gets hurt, and the writing style is great. It's keeping me on my toes. I don't think any of the characters like each other. They're all in this like state of at any moment someone could betray me, and nobody trusts each other and nobody likes each other. They're just all working together to get stuff for themselves, basically. I don't know when this book is going to be a romance, or even if it's going to mention LGBTQ, because there's nothing of that, and I don't feel that coming off of nobody. But yeah, I'm going to finish this today, and I'll let you know what happens. I also, you've seen clips already, I went to San Francisco for a team building event for work, and I'll just show you some stuff I got. One, we went to Aquarium of the Bay, so I got a bookmark, and that's the one I'm using for this book. Got some candies. I ate some already, but I got this chocolate bar, and I got these truffles, which look good. I also got my friend some candy and a music box. I also got this postcard because I thought it was cute. The jellyfish were my favorite part. And I also got me a music box as well, so we could listen to it together. It's Beauty and the Beast. I don't know, is it showing? But yeah, it's so cute inside if you wanted to. So yeah, so I got me this one, and then I also got my friend the Game of Thrones one, so it plays the theme song of Game of Thrones. That's everything that I got from San Francisco, and I enjoyed my time out there. But I'm going to finish this book and let you know how I feel about it. So I finished This Dark Descent. I'm giving this a 3 stars, 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed the writing style. I really enjoyed the action. The action happens at the end, or a lot of the action happens at the end of the book, and the races, beautiful. But this is like a 3.5 stars. I think because of the books previous in this like reading vlog are like romantic centered, or like heavily leans into LGBT, I thought that this is what what's going to happen here, even though it's a fantasy. Um, but the Goodreads tags, I thought it would be more prominent for the community. Um, it's not. I knew off the bat that one of the characters, Aria, was demisexual, demi-romantic, because she mentions that it's difficult for her to be with someone romantically or physically if she doesn't have a connection with them. But it's only like mentioned once. So her love interest in this book is Damien. And then for Makira, I don't know how I missed it. I mean, I probably missed it because I've been playing this new video game on my phone, and I was like listening to the audiobook and playing the game, so I could miss it there because I was really focused. But she's bisexual. But she has feelings for this other guy character named Reed in here. But it's like, I feel like everything's mentioned in passing, so it's not like prominent in the book. Other than that, I enjoyed the characters' interactions. I don't like miscommunication tropes, but it makes sense for this story because no one's friends with each other, really. Like, there's no trust between one another, and you have to build that form of trust. But then certain situations happen where it's like, I don't know if I could trust you, so I can't really talk to you about a certain thing. So a lot of miscommunication happens. It does leave off on a cliffhanger, which I do want to read the second book, but I don't think I want to buy it because this is the Owl Crate edition, and usually if there's a sequel, they'll post it on their website so you could buy it so it can match like this edition. I don't think I'm going to buy it. I think what I'm going to do is get it as an audiobook and then listen that way because I am interested in what's going to happen next. But other than that, I enjoyed this book. And that's it for this reading vlog. If there's any book recommendations you have for me that you think I should read, you could always put it in the comments. But I'll see you in my next video. Bye.